Hi, I'm Pattu from freefincal. I've not been able to post videos regularly for the past few weeks because of a heavy teaching schedule, and I have to be careful about speaking too much in a day. So I have to obviously allocate all my teaching energies to the class. So in the last video, I talked about my diet. I gave you an update of my diet, and I said that I've stopped eating sugar, rice, wheat, coffee, tea. Now I've also stopped milk. I also stopped eating rasam, sambar, pickles, papad, everything, and I also recently stopped curd. Now it's been a month since I stopped curd, and it's been about 5-6 years since I stopped eating rice, wheat, etc. So one question or comment that many of you asked is, are you eating enough proteins? And many of you said that you are probably not eating too much of proteins, and that's going to be bad for your health. Now I eat about close to 200 grams of peanuts every day, and that's a lot, but I eat that. But that's because I don't eat other things. If I don't eat peanuts, I eat almonds. So if you look at this, dry roasted peanuts approximately has, for every 100 grams, about 24 grams of protein. So about 200 grams means I'm getting from nuts. Of course, peanut is not a nut, peanut is a legume. From legumes and nuts, about 48 grams to 50 grams of protein from that alone. And then I also eat some dal, etc., for dinner, etc. So that'll give me a little bit more of protein. So how do I know I'm eating enough protein? There's a way to check. There's a blood test called blood urea nitrogen, BUN test, and usually people eating a low protein diet have a very low blood urea nitrogen. That is it's lower than the normal range. That's the typical diagnosis. Of course, it can be something else as well, but that's the typical diagnosis. In my mother's case, I found that my mother had a very low blood urea nitrogen, so I started giving her treptin biscuits to increase the protein diet she eats, and that has been that's been a very good thing for her, and it has improved her blood urea nitrogen. For me, I do a master checkup once a year, and I just did it a couple of days ago, and my blood urea nitrogen is normal, is within the normal range. So that means that I'm definitely I'm not on a low protein diet. I'm getting enough protein. May not be sufficient. For example, my weight is my weight should be about 67-68 kilograms. So ideally I should be eating 68 or about 70 grams of protein approximately every day. I may not be eating that much, but I'm eating close to it. I'm eating I would say I'm eating somewhere between 45 to 55 grams of protein a day, most of it coming from almonds and peanuts. So it's possible on a vegetarian diet to have enough amount of proteins. You don't necessarily need to eat meat. I'm not saying eating meat is bad or anything. I'm just saying it's not necessary to eat meat, but you should be careful. Yes, vegetarians definitely should be careful about how much proteins they are eating. The problem with most vegetarians are that they have a huge carb component. I would say 70% of their diet is carbs. Easily, I would estimate, and that's a big problem. But in my case, most of what I eat is low carb, higher in fat and higher in protein, and therefore I don't have a problem with protein levels. Cacao is, or some people call it cocoa, is an excellent source of fiber and protein. It's a naturally low carb, high fat diet. But unfortunately, I was on steroids for 3 years roughly, and that destroyed my gastrointestinal system, and that I often would get reflux. Only recently, in the last 6 months, I have strenuously avoided medication for acid reflux, and managing it with some kind of with the lifestyle changes. And Himalaya has something called quick dissolve tablets, QD. I use that if I have trouble and so on. So the point I want to make is I can't eat cacao because it it would trigger my acid reflex. It's a well-known acid reflex trigger. I used to love 100% or 99% dark chocolate. Lindt has a very nice brand of dark chocolate. It's 99% of cacao and 1% of what's it called, I forget the name, some kind of sugar, I forget. You should see the nutrition, but I don't eat it anymore because once I gorged on that and it triggered my acid reflex. But yeah, so there are wonderful sources of natural plant-based protein available, but you should be careful about what you eat. And if you choose to eat a low carb diet, then automatically your protein content will be would be relatively higher than others. It may not be optimal. It's very difficult for everybody to eat 1 gram of protein per kilogram of weight, but that's not possible. But we can try to eat something close to it, and I think I'm eating reasonably enough amounts of protein in spite of a strict, in spite of a strict diet like this. It's not a strict diet. It's something I have found my peace in this corner. So it works for me, and my goal is also to naturally reduce my my blood pressure and also my pulse. I used to have severe anxiety levels because of steroids. Steroids is a terrible medication. It's a life-saving medication, but it's also a terrible medication in terms of side effects, because steroids will messes up with your adrenaline levels. Your natural adrenaline production is stopped because you're eating steroids. But then when you taper it down, it gets messed up. It gets messed up, and in my case, I used to have severe anxiety. It triggered my anxiety. If somebody rings the bell suddenly, I used to feel on the edge, and that would not it will never drop down. A quick difference between stress and anxiety is that stress and anxiety is not the same. Suppose you see me on the road and I suddenly show a gun to you and say, hands up and give me all your money or I'll take your life, then your stress levels will immediately be very high. So your fight or flight response will be triggered and it will be very high. But then once you realize I've just pulled a prank on you, or the danger has gone, the stress will start decaying, and the stress levels will start decaying, and you will feel normal within a couple of hours. But in the case of anxiety, once the stress is triggered, once the fight or flight response is triggered, the stress doesn't decay at all. It just stays on there. You will feel on edge. You will feel literally ready to go to fight. You will feel like your adrenaline is pumping all over, and anxiety will not come down at all. That's the problem with anxiety, and I have been able to reduce my anxiety by reducing my salt. Many people told me that, even doctors have told me that there's no relationship between salt intake and anxiety, but in my case I found a very clear connection. When I stopped eating all this rasam, sambar, pickles, papad, everything other salty stuff, there's a very clear a reduction in my anxiety levels. Of course, the BP also reduced, and I also am noticing for the past month my BP was also reduced a little bit down because of complete removal of dairy, curd, etc. Curd was the last product I was eating, and I stopped that as well. So let me see how that goes. So it's possible to adjust your lifestyle and get rid of these all lifestyle diseases. I would say diabetes and blood pressure are most often lifestyle diseases. Of course, they're also hereditary, but you can control them with lifestyle. That's the kind of confidence this diet has given me. Anyway, but what I wanted to talk about was the proteins. I'll see you again. Bye bye.